All right, so you're thinking about buying that vacation rental property. Maybe you want to have it in the dream location, but you're trying to figure out how to pay for the house. In this video, I'm going to show you all the pros and cons of owning a vacation rental property. Hey guys, it's Brent Bowers. As you know, I'm the land guy, but I own 3 vacation rentals and dream locations, and I've had experience. In this video, I'm gonna break down some points, and I'm gonna make you so much further ahead than I was when I bought that first rental property. I'm gonna show you all the pros and cons of owning one. All right, so I got my first experience owning a vacation property when we moved to Colorado Springs in the Army. Recently, after this move, I was sent out to Fort Knox, Kentucky. So I bought this beautiful house next to the mountains. It's actually next to the Cheyenne Mountain Resort in Colorado Springs. And Airbnb was still fairly new at the time, and I had listed my house on Airbnb for about 4 months' time. That way it paid for itself when I was away, because I didn't want to have like a property having to pay for it here and then having to pay for another property in Fort Knox, Kentucky for 4 months. So I rented my property out, and I ended up grossing about $4,000 a month. Well, my mortgage payment was only about $1,000. So I was really pocketing almost $3,000 a month after paying for cleaning fees and expenses and all the materials. But a lot of that stuff is paid for by my guests. So I was really sitting pretty with about $3,000 a month while I was in the Army. So that was kind of my start to my vacation rentals. And then eventually we were like thinking, hey, wouldn't it be really cool to own a property on the lake, own a property in the mountains? So it gives you the opportunity. One of the pros is giving you the opportunity to own properties or houses in dream locations that you want to go and spend time and vacation at. But there's also some cons to it. So let's start talking about the pros. You know, when I was growing up, I really enjoyed going to this place called Lake Placid, Florida. And I'll give you an example. I'll show you exactly what my Airbnb looks like in Lake Placid, Florida. There'll be a link. Hopefully there's some pictures that come up. But I'm going to show you exactly what it's like. I always wanted to buy a house on this lake because my friends used to go over there and ski and tube and kneeboard and wakeboard and do all these cool things, but I was working a lot during the summers, so I didn't really get to go and spend that much time at the lake. Well, now I'm an adult and I know about Airbnbs and vacation rentals, so we actually purchased a house on that lake to vacation rental out. That way it pays for itself, and we have this dream location, this place where we can send our family and our friends, send them on vacations and host and have all these people stay with us. But there are some cons. There are some cons to owning a house when you go on vacation. You know, you got to clean it. You got to make sure like the dishes are done. You got to sweep the sand off the floors. If you're actually going and staying at another Airbnb or another vacation rental that's not owned by you, you're not thinking about these things. You know, sometimes you'll say, wow, there's a stain on this towel, or there's a stain on the sheets, or the screen door needs fixed, or the bug misters are not working. So I always found that I would go there and I would actually work on my property. So this is one of the cons of owning a vacation rental and these dream locations. And you might be thinking, wow, why is he complaining? He's got these beautiful vacation rentals. Well, it's a fact of being a workaholic. You know, my wife doesn't appreciate when we go on vacation and I'm working on the screen door or fixing the kids' play set, things like that. She wants to be on the lake. She wants to do the skiing and the tubing. So just think about this when you buy that vacation rental. If you think you're going to go there and just enjoy it the entire time, I got news for you. If you're anything like me, always fixing things, always want to have the perfect experience for your guests, you're going to be working probably half the time you're there. All right, another pro is you actually get to build equity. While your vacation renters, your guests are paying down your mortgage, you're building equity. But another pro to that is hopefully it's appreciating. I was speaking about my lake house in Lake Placid, Florida. We bought it at $305,000. Now this property is worth over $491,000. That's over $150,000 net profit, and we've only owned it almost maybe a year and a half now. So when you're in an appreciating cycle in a market, this is incredible. We're paying down our mortgage. That's actually like mortgage pay down, and then we're appreciating. And let me give you a third pro. A third pro, it helps me on my taxes. I use something called depreciation. You know, it's a tax term. I'm no CPA. I'm not giving you tax guidance, and I'm not even claiming to understand it. But my CPA, he depreciates that house every year, and I get to actually get write-offs on my income by owning rental property. So I virtually pay hardly any taxes. You might have heard of Donald Trump or Warren Buffett, like paying less taxes than their secretary. Well, it's absolutely true when you own real estate. All right, let me give you another pro. I talked about being able to host your friends or send your family there or business partners there on vacation. It's a great way to show off to your friends. Like, I love it. I love being able to provide this for my friends and my family. So that's one little perk for me. You might not think like me, but that's a pro for me. All right, let's talk about another pro. You know, we're currently getting our roof put on at our current primary residence. There's painters there. There's been all kinds of repairs needed. Our roof was leaking for like a month when we moved in, and now one of the air conditioners are broke. So all these things happen. So it's really incredible to have a vacation rental that's like 2 hours away. It's almost like a second home while all these renovations are getting done. Like, people are pounding on your roof and your dog's barking all day and the painter's in there, you know, fuming up your house, and they're replacing an air conditioner. It's really nice to have a second location you can go and spend, you know, 3, 4, 5 days or a week while all these things are happening. Because if you have little kids like me, you don't want them breathing paint fumes. You darn sure don't want to listen to the dog while they're pounding on your roof all day long, you know, ripping the old shingles off and putting the new shingles on. So that's another amazing pro. All right, another pro is you can give friends and family income. You know, my family has helped me put screened in porches on these houses, painted these houses. They clean the houses. I've got my mother helping me manage the lake house. So it's an amazing opportunity to be able to give our friends and family like some income opportunities. Because again, one of the cons of owning a vacation rental is there's a lot of work to it. So you want to farm out some of this work. You don't want your vacation rental turning into a job for you. So I've completely farmed everything out. I really only know about things when, like, hey, the electric socket's not working, so it's time to call the electrician or the plumber or things like that. I only find out about when it's the big stuff, and I prefer it that way because I don't want my vacation rental to be a job for me. I want to still be able to go on vacation and use it. All right, and one thing about this lake house I'm talking about, I actually included some links so you can check it out. We just previously listed it for sale because we're doing a little shifts. We haven't been using the lake house as much as we like. There's some other locations that we'd like to start going and visiting, and plus the place appreciated so much. We'd like to pull a little cash out and do some other things with it, or maybe put it as a down payment on that Keys home or that tree house we're building in the mountains, things like that. So I'm one of those believers, you should sell when everyone's buying and buy when everyone's selling. So I'm cashing in on a lot of my properties right now. But let me get into some of the cons about owning a vacation rental. Some of the things you want to know before you start going and buying these vacation homes and these dream locations. But before I do, go ahead and like this video. If you're liking this video, go ahead, smash that like button. Hopefully you've gotten something out of this. And if you're not liking it, hit the down button. And I'm gonna give you some more cons just to go with that little down arrow button. So appreciate you doing that. Hope you've hit the like button. Also, give me a little tip and subscribe as well. All right, let's get into the cons. There is going to be a lot of maintenance. One of my vacation rental, I keep talking about the one in the lake house in Lake Placid. This is my example for this video. 9 people can sleep in this house. If you have 9 adults come, they're probably gonna bring at least 4 or 5 children and maybe a dog, and then they're gonna have a barbecue, they're gonna have friends over. So before you know it, you might have 18 or 20 people in your house. And let me tell you, the neighbors don't appreciate this. We're very strict on 9 people only. And guess what comes with 9 people? It takes vehicles to bring those people. My property has a big circular driveway. You've probably seen the pictures by now. We can fit almost 20 cars in that yard, but I don't like 20 cars being parked on my grass and driving over the septic system. You gotta be very careful with where people drive. So we actually put a huge playhouse right over the septic system so people couldn't drive on top of our septic system. And also, when you're flipping through the pictures, like trying to pick which house you want to stay on in Lake Placid, I guarantee if the kids are looking with their parents, they're gonna choose the one with the big playhouse. So just take that into account. That's one way to get more money, more funds, more revenue for your vacation rental. You want to make it appealing for people. The backyard experiences, kayaks, bicycles, a gym to work out in, you know, maybe a Peloton. Guys, Peloton offers like interest-free financing. Throw a Peloton in your Airbnb, a big playhouse for the kids, little things like that, a backyard fire pit. You know, you got to think about the experience. People are leaving their boring homes that they've been spending all this time in during COVID to go and experience something that's really cool and outdoorsy. So back to the cons. The maintenance. You're always going to be maintaining things. Doors, windows, things break. The garbage disposal. Have a very powerful garbage disposal. Let me tell you, you want this thing to be able to eat spoons if it needs to. I prefer like the one with like the 1 horsepower motor on it because the garbage disposals take the biggest beating. People think that they can shove like full steaks down that thing, but you can't. So you're gonna have to have a plumber on standby. Little things like this, like make sure you have a plunger in every bathroom. But let me give you a tip. Make sure it's a brand new plunger. When people use it and you found out they've used it, throw it away, get a new one. They're like $5 at Home Depot. And another thing, like another con, I stay in a lot of Airbnbs across the country, and I see where the toilet bowl brush is old and like that orange color. Get rid of that thing. Make sure they're always brand new. No one wants to see that when they're staying on vacation. It needs to be a brand new plunger and a brand new scrub brush. So I say these are cons, but you're always gonna be spending a little bit of money on each, like every couple months. You're gonna have to replace those towels. Another con, when people start staining those towels up, they're gonna steal your towels, they're gonna steal your beach towels. So your cleaning crew is really your eyes and ears. They need to have an inventory checklist. So another con is the management of these cleaning crews, because if your cleaning crew is not doing a checklist and keeping up with what's missing, what's been missing, you're not going to know whether to charge these people for the bathrobe that they just took that cost you $18. Another good thing to have is a little checklist. Hey guys, if you're enjoying our bathrobes or our towels, if you take one, feel free, but we're going to charge you $18 for the bathrobe, $11 each for the towels, $15 each for the pillows, because sometimes you're going to find your guests really like that towel or that pillow or that bathrobe, and they're going to take it, and you're going to need to charge them for it. So that's another con, is just keeping up with the management of these things, because I can tell you, if it's been a year in the time that you've been and visited your vacation home, you're going to notice a lot of things have went missing. So that's another major con. And I don't think it's because these people are thieves. They're like, hey, this is great. We just paid $240 a night. I'm going to take the bathrobe as a souvenir. No, you got to charge them for it. All right, I hope I didn't beat the cons up too much. Guys, it's amazing owning vacation rentals. Don't let me discourage you from it. Just let me put the thoughts in your minds to educate you to be better equipped. You know, I'm a few years, I've been doing vacation rentals now since 2015, so that's 6 years. I found an amazing way to make passive income a lot easier than owning vacation rentals, and that is through buying and selling land. Guys, as you know, the real estate market is absolutely exploding. Land is appreciating. Builders are trying to build. They're like grabbing land to build houses, spec homes. Guys, I've got a tried and true method of buying land at massive discounts and turning around and selling it to builders and developers, and even financing this stuff so that you have passive income. And guess what? Your land buyers don't call you because the toilet's backed up or the roof's leaking or the foundation's having issues. Like all these little things, land is way easier, way simpler. If you are interested in checking that out, subscribe to this channel, check it out. I talk all things land on it. And if you're interested in checking out even more or booking a call with my team, go to thelandsharks.com, schedule a call. I'd be interested in seeing what your goals are in building a real estate business. If we feel like we're a great fit, I'd be honored to coach you.